Hi everyone on YouTube. Just wanted to do a little video on my upgraded computer that I did. My half 932 case. A couple mods that I did to the computer. So here's my Samsung monitor, 24-inch, 1920 by 1200 resolution. And my Razer keyboard, the Razer Death Adder mouse. And fully custom water-cooled computer with a 500mm reservoir. My Logitech speaker. There's my Feser 480mm radiator. Here's my little Lamptron fan controller. You can shut it off. There's a light underneath. You turn it back on, you can see the light goes brighter. So let me take this door off and I'll show you the inside. So before I show you the inside of it, I just want to show you the door where I have a custom 230mm blue LED bit Phoenix fan. I think it's a Spectre Pro. It's got heavy duty blades on it. And I put frozen CPU sound deadening foam all in here. And it really does the job. It dampens the sound big time. Can't hear your video cards at all. Here's the computer. You can see Swiftech Waterblock XT Revision 1. It's a Asus Maximus 4 Extreme Z68 motherboard with a Intel Core i7 2600K overclocked to 4.7 gigahertz 1.4 volt in the vcore. And here's the new upgrade right here. This is the NVIDIA EVGA 670GTX for the win. And pretty much it's overclocked to 6080 GTX speed, so it's pretty much the same speed as the 680. And here's the new power supply. It's a Corsair GS 800 watt. And the cool thing about this is you can change the LEDs on the fan to 3 different colors. So if you want white, there's white LED, and you want red, or if you want to shut it off. And I keep it on blue all the time, so that's blue right there. And put that out the way. So I got 2 OCZ Vertex II 50GB SSDs in RAID 0. And even though these are older SSDs, the performance is crazy. About 550 megabits per second read and about 500 megabits per second write. And this is a Bit Phoenix LED strip. There. See, it's really bit. And I got another Bit Phoenix Spectre Pro 230mm blue LED fan. And you can see right here there's a custom Lian Li case feet that I installed. Let's see if we can get underneath. Yeah, sorry about the lighting. It's a Swiftech pump, water cooling pump. And these are Enermax Apollo Vegas fans, and they can blink to multiple colors with different lights. They all have LEDs in them. I got 16 gigabyte of Corsair Vengeance RAM, 1600 megahertz at 99924 timings. There's a Swiftech XT block, and I think those are Bit Phoenix Alchemy cables extensions. It's red right there, and this is a 24 pin black And again, I installed a frozen CPU, sound deadening foam. Let's see if we can cover that up. And I mean, it really does. It helps big time in dampening the sound. Here's a EVGA 670. You can see this thing is whisper quiet. I couldn't even hear it. The temperature is really great. I installed some custom thumb screws on the 932 case. I removed the plastic clips because they were cheap. They kept on breaking. And those are Antec 1200 PCI slot covers. See, and I mean, it looks pretty good with the thumb screws compared to the plastic cheap clips that Cooler Master provides. I mean, as a gaming system, this thing pretty much blows everything out of the water, just even with the regular 670. Before I had like 2 of these. These are the AMD HD 5870 1GB cards. I had 2 of these in Crossfire, and the 670 GTX just blows them out of the water. Almost all benchmarks and games. And it's a lot cooler and quieter too. So I highly recommend anybody, if you don't like the AMD ATI drivers, upgrade to NVIDIA with their better drivers. Just from experience, I've had so many cards. As you can see back here, I got 4870, oh, you probably can't see it, but 4870s, 3870s. I mean, I've had problems with ATI drivers. They're just not that good. So yeah, these are my old cards. And I mean, it's amazing the performance. Just that 670 just blows those 2 cards out of the water. You can see technology has advanced a lot. And let's see what we got. It's a fan controller. Let's see, let me take off the side panel, because I'll show you. My cable management's not the best, but as you can see, when you get these many custom cables and extensions, it really adds up. As you can see, it's a ridiculous amount of cables. I didn't do that good on a cable management job because I had my Corsair HX1000. I don't know if you can see it, my old power supply. It died recently, so I had to upgrade to the GS800, and that thing's pretty good. It automatically shuts the fan speed off on the power supply when not in use. So you can see if I can turn on the red, the fan blades are not even moving at all. And when you're under GPU load or heavy load benchmarking like Prime 95, that's when the temps will go up, and then the fan will turn on and spin around. You can see this is a problem when you get these Alchemy extension cables, is you have so many cables around that you got to wrap around. Here's the 8-pin EPS connector with the red cabling. It goes all the way down. You see, yeah, these are the 55mm thick, 120mm fans, the Feser tribe work, and I mean they do a really good job. They're in pole configuration right now. I got Feser 1/2-inch compression fittings. They do a good job. And the cool thing about this Antec 1200 case is it's so easy to do external water cooling. I can take the second PSU power supply mount and just run all my 1/2-inch tubing all the way through. Now I know I got extra tubing, but that's because if I ever decided I wanted to water cool the cards, I'd just have to cut the tubing and drain my loop and then cut the tubing and connect it. I did have my 5870s water cooled at one point, but like I said, they started dying, and I had artifacting with flickering, and instead of RMAing, I just decided to say screw it, just buy this card. And so far the performance is great. I'm really impressed. Oh, I also got a Western Digital, Western Digital 1TB black, this serial ATA2, same with the SSD, serial ATA2, but in RAID 0, these things blow. They're pretty much up there with the Corsair Force GTs, about 500 megabytes per second read, and or about 550 megabits per second read, and about 500 megabits per second write on a ATTO ATO benchmark. So I'm pretty impressed, yeah. You can see it's really not that loud, it's pretty quiet. I mean, there's a lot of fans, like 3. You can see the Enermax 120mm fans, LED. Yeah, I love these fans. You can take out the blades if you want. Do that. Now let's get over to, sorry about the shaky camera, some of my other systems. You can see the, yeah, my water cooling. This is my reservoir, so if I want to fill up water, I just take these screws out right over here, and then I can lift this up, you know, take the cap off right here and drain it, you know, just pour it in a bucket and then fill it with distilled water. And I've been using only distilled water and never had any problems. So people say you gotta buy fluids, that's kind of a lie. You see this little LED thing in the back. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, you can see the custom Lian Li case feet. These are a lot better than the half 932 stock feet, because I snapped one of the feet because this computer weighs so much. I'd say at least weighs 80 to 100 pounds fully loaded. You know, when I had my old water-cooled 5870s, the water cooling really adds a lot of weight to the case. So this is my setup. I have a, like I said, 24-inch Samsung monitor and 1920 by 1200. This is just my Toshiba HD TV 720p. I use it to stream just regular cable TV and stuff like HD video off my home theater PC that's up here. I'll show you that in a minute. This is my little ITX server that I share all my files on. It's got a AMD E350 1.6 gigahertz CPU with a Western Digital 1TB Black and a 8 gigabyte of Corsair XMS3, I think it is, 33 megahertz RAM, 99924. Now I'll probably add an SSD. If I upgrade an SSD, I'll put an SSD in this computer later on. Yeah, just share like BitTorrent files and stream anime or videos or whatever I want on here. That's my Logitech Z55 speakers. You can see the monster subwoofer. And this is my Comcast DOCSIS 3.0 wireless router. It's got, you know, maybe 26 megabits per second download and about 3 to 4 megabits per second upload. So yeah. And this is my old computer that I put into my other case. It's a Antec 1200 case with another Razer keyboard. I think this is a Lycosa, and another 1.5 DPI mouse, or 1500 DPI mouse, Razer Death Adder. This one's the 3500 DPI Razer mouse. This one's a little bit better. You get more sensitivity out of it compared to the 1500. And I forgot what keyboard this is. This is one of the newer Razer ones, and it's really good. You can hear it's mechanical, so I mean it really does the job, especially playing like Battlefield 3 and some of the other first-person shooter games. Yep, so you can see in this computer I decided I didn't want to do too much blue. I did UV lighting, and I didn't have any heat shrink, so I had to zip tie that, but those are UV red heat sleeving I put in there, and it's got a Intel Q96, or was it Intel Q9650 quad core. It only overclocked to 3.2 gigahertz. It's 3.0 gigahertz stock. But yeah, this is more of my file server and you know, storage server, where it's, you know, watch anime, stream anime, and videos, HD videos, and everything, and it plays anything 1080p, no problem. You can see I did the now this is a cheaper. I think this is SoundRite. It's only $2. It was real cheap at Frozen CPU. Sound deadening foam. And I mean, for the price, it works really good. The other stuff that I used in here, as you can see, this is the Frozen CPU, and this stuff does a better job, but this is about $16 to $18 at FrozenCPU.com. You can see I did the whole thing. But for $2, this is really cheap. They have a whole bunch of this in stock, and I pretty much sleeved. Yeah, I had to cut some of these so it's not perfect. I had to put zip ties, but this is a UV red, some kind of Frozen CPU UV red heat shrink that goes over it. I put that on there. This is just tape.